Weirdest Delicacies. Before we get started, let's take a quick look at one of our viewers' comments. Andrea Bushnell had this to say: "Love your videos. They're grade A quality." Aw, thank you so much for commenting, Andrea. And don't forget to subscribe. Now, back to our video. Number 20, Black Ivory Coffee. Hopefully you coffee drinkers will still like coffee after you hear about this. Black Ivory Coffee is actually a brand of coffee created from Arabica coffee beans, though that's not the whole process. The beans are actually consumed by elephants and are then collected after digestion. Why? The enzymes in the elephant's stomach help break down the protein and give the beans a less bitter taste. Number 19, Durian. This weird-looking piece of food is actually a fruit that hails from Malaysia, Indonesia, and Brunei. It's been given the nickname King of Fruits by many of the Southeast Asian people and is recognized for its strong smell and spiked appearance. The strong smell depends on the person, and it's said to be either sweet or very unpleasant. Number 18, corn smut. In Mexico, this delicacy is known as huitlacoche and is actually a plant disease that is caused by a pathogenic fungus. The smut is typically eaten as a filling in foods such as quesadillas, soups, etc. Weirdly enough, the disease causes the kernels to develop more protein in them than a normal healthy corn kernel. Number 17, bird's nest soup. This is exactly what it sounds like. It's a bird's nest that's been made into a soup. This delicacy has been around for some 400 years in Chinese cuisine, and it's pretty pricey. The nests used are from swiftlets that build them using their saliva. The nests are harvested and cleaned before being used. Number 16, fried brain sandwich. Zombies aren't the only ones who enjoy some good quality brains every now and then, though they prefer theirs extra fresh. The dish used to be made with cow brains, but ever since that whole mad cow disease epidemic, it's now mostly made with baby cows or pig's brains. Some restaurants here in the States still serve them. Number 15, smalahove. This dish comes all the way from Western Norwegia, where it's a tradition dish that serves a sheep's head. It's usually eaten right before Christmas. It used to be only eaten by poor people in desperate times, but it must be good because now it's a delicacy. This dish is now only made with a lamb's head. Number 14, Rocky Mountain oysters. Gird your loins for this next one. Rocky Mountain oysters aren't actually oysters at all, but rather they're testicles. Yep, you're eating animal genitalia. The recipe calls for either pig, sheep, or bull testicles to be fried after being properly prepared. Do you think you'd be able to swallow these without them coming back up? Number 13, jellyfish. Believe it or not, there are actually a number of species of jellyfish that we humans can safely consume. They're typically harvested and prepared in Southeast Asian countries. The edible jellyfish is usually used as an ingredient in noodles, sushi, and even ice cream. Jellyfish-flavored ice cream doesn't seem too appealing. Number 12, turtle soup. Yes, in some cultures, they actually eat turtles in a soup, which is mostly in Singapore and here in the United States. Let it be noted that eating the meat from certain types of marine turtles can cause a food poisoning known as Chelonitoxism. It's not pleasant. Number 11, shark fin soup. This soup is considered to be a luxury in Chinese cuisine, but is also responsible for causing much controversy. The shark fins are most often harvested by cutting off the pectoral, dorsal, and caudal fins while the shark is alive and leaving them to die. Thankfully, some bans have been placed and there's even a shark fin substitute. Number 10, escargot. Almost everyone at some point in their life has had a conversation on whether or not they'd actually try escargot. So, would you? They're mostly associated with France, but they're also served in Spain and Portugal. Here in the United States, we have a day nationally dedicated to escargot, which is May 24th. Number 9, snail caviar. This is less heard of than escargot, but it seems to be just as popular. Their taste has been described as being very earthy and tastes like baked asparagus and mushrooms. A 50-gram jar of this stuff is worth 150 euros, which is 160 US dollars. That's only for 2 tablespoons. Tablespoons are tiny. Number 8, escamol. If you think eating a snail is gross, then you're probably not going to like this next one. Escamoles are ant larvae that are most commonly eaten in Mexico City and some of the surrounding regions. They're collected from agave plants and are described as having a buttery and nutty profile. Number 7, tuna Eyeball. These things can be found in Japanese markets where they stare straight into your soul. The eyeballs are scooped out of the tuna, packaged and sold to those who enjoy the taste. It's been said that the flavor profile resembles that of a squid. The whole thing comes surrounded by a fatty layer of fish muscle and is typically boiled. Number 6. Century egg. These eggs don't actually take a century to be preserved until they're well enough to be eaten. In reality, the eggs are set inside of a cast of clay for either several weeks or months. Century eggs have been around for some 600 years and are eaten at special events such as weddings and birthdays. Number 5. Kasu marzu. For those of you that love cheese, this next one might be the first cheese that you wouldn't mind not eating. Kasu marzu is a traditional cheese that comes from the town of Sardinia, Italy, where it's made out of goat's milk and is fermented and left to decompose. Maggots are purposefully put inside the cheese. You can either eat it with or without them. Number 4. Guinea pig. These little fluff balls are recognized more as pets, but in South America, most notably Peru and Bolivia, these rodents are on the menu. They were once only eaten by the indigenous people of the Andes Mountains, but later became a staple in the diets of the locals as the social stigma wore off. Number 3. Fried tarantulas. This popular snack food in Cambodia is seen as a special treat that you can pick up at any outside market. The tarantulas have been identified as being the Thai zebra tarantula. They're defanged once they've been killed and are then prepared for frying. The process ends up neutralizing the venom in the spiders and are quite crunchy. Number 2. Balut. This dish is most commonly found as a street food in the Philippines, but it's also eaten in places such as Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos. This is a developing bird embryo that has been boiled and is eaten straight out of the shell. The dish is considered to be controversial amongst animal rights activists. Before we reveal number 1, let us know in the comments below which one of these weird delicacies you'd be willing to try, and don't forget to subscribe. And now, number 1. Fugu. Translated, fugu is known as the Japanese word for pufferfish and is considered one of the deadliest dishes that is prepared. Without the proper preparation, those who consume it will surely die from its lethal poison, tetrodotoxin. It can only be prepared by chefs who have had at least 3 years of the hard training required to serve it to the public.